One of history's notorious kings, Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, was great in his day and feared by many of the countries around them. They were notorious and wicked in the way people were punished and treated. So, after being made king of Babylon in 616 BC, then 11 years later they invade Jerusalem and take many of the Jews into captivity for 70 years. So, let's check in with the group of guys to see what they are up to today.
Brothers, the king of Babylon back in a time in history was very bad. Many of the countries lived in fear of Babylon.
You know, what I find interesting.
Tell me, John, I want to know what you're thinking.
Fast forward to the statue of King Nebuchadnezzar. And in 600 BC, when the ceremony took place of the 90-foot statue, there were 3 young Jews who stood up to King Nebuchadnezzar.
Yes, there was. The outcome of this was King Neb declaring to serve the one true God for all the land.
Yes, but 23 years later he seemed to forget, and once again he became a very arrogant king. God gave him a dream that Daniel interprets, but after 1 year, while continuing to be arrogant, God spoke to him and
immediately he became like an animal and ate with them in the fields for 7 years.
You would have thought he learned his lesson to listen to God.
There are always some that have to learn the hard way.
An interesting thought is that King Neb did acknowledge the true God after the fiery furnace, but as our group said 23 years later, he seemed to go right back to being arrogant because of all the things he built and did to elevate himself. So, once again God sends King Neb a warning, yet King Neb kept going down this slippery slope.
You're so right. There are some people that have to learn the hard way, because they just don't get it to stop before they get to the point of no return.
For 7 years King Neb was like the wild beasts of the field.
Until after the 7th year, the word of God tells us he raised his head toward heaven, and acknowledged God, once again.
When he did that, God restored his kingdom, and he then makes this declaration to follow God till the day of his death.
Listen to what King Neb says. Then I praised the Most High, I honored and glorified him who lives forever. His dominion is an eternal dominion, his kingdom endures from generation to generation. 35 All the peoples of the earth are regarded as nothing. He does as he pleases with the powers of heaven and the peoples of the earth. No one can hold back his hand or say to him, "What have you done?" From 569 to 562 BC, 7 years King Neb worshipped the true God of Israel, till his death.